Hey everyone, good morning. Me again. I hope you can see me okay. It's very bright out here. I'm standing in the pool of where I'm staying in Santa Marta in Colombia to make this video. And I'm standing in the pool because today is so hot. It is crazy, crazy hot. I mean, I love the heat, but if you can imagine, those of you that live in Australia, if you can imagine the searing heat of summer, in Perth when it's 40 plus degrees and we're all hiding in the air conditioning. Well, it's like that here today, or it certainly feels like that. Um, but we don't have we don't have the air conditioning. So there are a few fans, but wow, it's really really hot. So I jumped in the pool to cool down, and I've got a busy schedule. So I thought, right, I'm going to make this video while I am in the pool. So this video, I have called it, and it's by popular request. I have had various people contact me and ask me for information about this. So I said, okay, I'll make you a video. It's better than, just writing something out. So and what people have been asking me about, they're saying, I am really interested in ayahuasca. I think that ayahuasca could really help me from what you're saying, from what I've seen, etc. They've got questions, and that's fine, but what they say is, I'm really interested in ayahuasca, but I'm afraid. So I am afraid of ayahuasca. And you know what? It's completely valid. Why shouldn't you be? Of course you're going to feel some fear. Some people are going to feel a lot of fear about the different things. So there's a few different things that we need to touch on here without making this video too long. So firstly, one of the things that I do at my retreats, and you will have heard my clients talk about this, and anyone who's worked with me knows that I do this with you as you go along anyway, but one of my objectives, and one of the things we really focus on a deep level in the 5 days that we spend together before we go into the ayahuasca sessions, is I want to teach you how your mind works. How your mind works. There's different rules of the mind. It does different things at different times. And everything that your mind does is designed to keep you safe. But what you have to remember is that it's operating on neural pathways that were put into place when you were just a child. Most of it before the age of 5, definitely before the age of 8 and 10. So much of what is running your adult life is thought processes that were put in place when you were very small, when you didn't have the information, the knowledge, the experience, the support, all of those things to be able to make different decisions. And unfortunately, those early beliefs that you adopt, those early ideas, they get laid down as major neural pathways and they run your adult life. So this is important, because, and that is why we spend such a lot of time deep diving into how your mind works, why it works as it does, how to recognize what it's doing so that you can then overcome some of these ideas and beliefs just by recognizing what your mind is projecting and why at a certain time. And the reason this is important is because some of the fear that you are feeling if you think about doing ayahuasca will simply be your mind trying to keep you safe. Now, it's a fact that your mind will react to absolutely anything and everything that is outside your comfort zone. Anything new that you present to it, it will react to in a negative way, simply because its job, one of its key roles, is to keep you safe. It's not there to make sure that you thrive, that you really indulge in all of your hopes and dreams, that you develop the business, all the wealth, the love, everything that you want for your life. It's not there to make sure that you do all of those things. It's there to make sure that you stay safe, that you survive. Okay, and that survival means stopping you doing anything that is outside your comfort zone. We go into this in a really deep way in the retreat, because how do you recognize it? How do you know? How do you overcome it? So many questions, so many layers. But just as a simple starting place, if you can recognize that some of the fear that you feel about anything is simply your mind trying to keep you safe, then obviously that's a step in the right direction. So when you're thinking, oh my God, I'd love to do this ayahuasca, but I'm afraid, just remember one of the things is it is just your mind's natural response. Okay, so I am just going to give this another try here. I was explaining to you that that's just your mind's response, and unfortunately my laptop actually overheated. So let's just start where we were. So what I was explaining to you was that that is just your mind's response to something new, something different, could be anything, and that what we have to do, we have to learn to recognize that, and then it has to be looked at in a logical way, worked through, reasoned with, understood, and overcome. So that is one of the first reasons why you will be feeling fear. There are three main ones, so let's have a look at them. The second one, people say to me, oh, I'd love to do it, but I'm terrified of being sick. You know, all these things, I understand, I get them. But what you have to understand about the whole process, that the whole process of an ayahuasca journey, the whole process of doing the prep, doing the actual journeys, doing the integration, is to bring about massive and significant change in your life. So what we're looking at when we say, oh, I'm afraid of being sick, you have to remember, like, every journey is different. Number one, not everyone is sick. And number two, not everyone is sick all the time. So I've actually done, I've done 10 ayahuasca journeys now, and I was sick on 4 of them. So I did 6 where I wasn't sick. I've been sick on 4, but only on 2 of them was I sick quite a lot. All right. So every journey is going to be different. There's no saying that you will be sick, no saying that you won't, how long it will last, etc. But here's what you have to understand. If someone said to you, you can go through something and it's going to make you sick for a few hours, but afterwards, within yourself, you will be in a completely different place, in the way that you view things, feel things. You will get a major shift. I mean, when you look at it in that way, it's actually a very, very small price to pay. And the fact is that when you know that you're being physically sick, number one, you're bringing up everything that's been, been hiding within you. So the being sick is part of the purging, part of the releasing. So although it's physical, it has an emotional context as well. But even at my worst times when I was being really sick, I knew that it was for my benefit. You know, in one of my journeys, I actually had ayahuasca saying to me, I am going to make you sick of this. And she kept making me sick because of something that I was allowing in my life. So there was that. And the most recent time was the last journey that I did. And I think that's probably the most sick I've ever been. And at one moment, I was kind of just really just being sick, and I did feel terrible. But even in amongst all of that, a voice came up, and I said to myself, "Oh dear God, what have I done to myself? I feel terrible." But because you've moved the ego out of the way, because ayahuasca bypasses the ego, another very, very gentle voice came in and said, "Hey, you know what you've done. You've brought yourself back to you. What you've done is you're finding yourself, you're putting yourself back together, you're getting rid of everything that really doesn't serve you." So even though, yes, I mean, how are you going to get this is why we call it the work, the personal work. When people say, "Oh, have you done the work? Have you done the deep inner work? Have you done the personal work?" Yes, it's hard, and an ayahuasca journey, it might be amazing. I've only, out of 10, I've only had 2 hard ones. The others were just beautiful journeys with a best friend who kind of showed me everything I need to see. So whether you're going to be sick, whether it's going to feel terrible or show you things that you'd rather not be reminded of, can't say, everyone's different, but what you can know with absolute certainty is that everything you go through and whatever you go through is leading towards an amazing, an incredible result for you, a result that leads to your growth, to certain realizations. You know, I can't express it to you any clearer other than to say everything that I've been through in my ayahuasca journeys has been so worth it. I've actually got a friend, she's done 14 journeys now, and she's terribly sick in all of them. I've never known her have a good journey, but her understanding is that every single one leads to a good and a positive outcome. So you just have to look at it that way, that for a few hours of whatever might be, you are going to have an outcome that serves you. Okay, so that's where we feel the fear. So we've looked at the mind. That's where we've looked at the fear of being physically sick and how to overcome that. And the other thing is, people get afraid of, what am I going to be shown? What am I going to have to go through? And here's the important thing about that. It's exactly the same as I've just said to you. If you've got stuff that is within you, that you have buried, that you don't want to look at, that you've locked away, then that is not serving you. That you might think that it's buried and that it's not affecting you, but it is. And in my last ayahuasca journey, this was brought to me in no uncertain terms, when I finally let her kind of split me open, as it were, and everything that I had buried came pouring out, and it was like this dark black mass. But even as I was looking at it, I knew that I was releasing it. And I'm looking at it thinking, oh my God, all that was inside me. I had no idea I was holding on to that. And it was just such a relief to release it, such a relief to finally face it and to see it go. And I think what you have to remember whenever you think about ayahuasca and you think about what might come up, what might not come up, what you might be afraid or not afraid of, you have to look at the end game. If you look at the process and what might happen, sure, you're going to feel afraid, you might get put off, but what you have to look at is the end result. It's a journey, it's a process, and it's all leading somewhere. And it's all leading to you releasing the things that don't serve you, that are holding you back from everything that you deserve, and from finally being able to take the steps to become the best version of yourself, to create for yourself the future that you know that you truly deserve and you desire. So if someone said to you, you know, I need you to go through a few days here that might be a bit traumatic, they're going to be very emotional, there'll be some physical pain, you might be sick, but you're definitely going to feel some very strong emotions. But at the end of it, this is going to be the result. This is where you will get to. You will be a different place in your life. I mean, how many of us would actually turn that down? And why would you? You know, then you have to look at that and you say, if I understand, and you do in the moment. It's not like the moments are terrifying because you don't understand what's happening. They're terrifying because you're releasing what you finally decide was within you. But at all times, certainly my experience is that I know what's happening, I know why it's happening, and I'm actually taking an active part. So these things are not happening outside of me. I'm taking part, I'm allowing ayahuasca to show me what I need to see so that I can release it and so that I can be free. And that's what this journey is all about. It's about finding freedom, physical freedom, emotional freedom, just the freedom you need to live the life that you want to live. So there you go. So those are the main reasons why you're feeling fear about the ayahuasca. And I can't explain it to you any clearer than that, other than to say anything and everything you go through is leading to an end benefit. None of it lasts long. It's all for a time, but your end result is for the rest of your life. That's why we do the integration work, to make sure that what comes up for you is understood. We rewire, we reprogram, and we fully integrate it into your life, into your thought processes, into the thoughts you have, the actions you take, and therefore the results that you get. For me, it's a very, very small price to pay. As I say, I've 10 journeys. I've only had 2 that were extremely challenging, but the results were phenomenal. There's no way, let's put it this way, if someone said to me, if you could go back, Sarah, and not do those journeys, what would you do? Absolutely, I would do those journeys again. I would do those journeys again because of where they have got me to, because of what they did for me and what they were. I've had 2 journeys that were fairly, they were okay. They were a little bit difficult, but not much. And I've had 6 where I had the most incredible, amazing shifts. And it was just like going for a walk with a best friend who told me everything that I needed to know. So I really hope that that helps you. And those of you who are thinking, I'm afraid of ayahuasca, can I just point out to you that it's keeping you stuck, that you're really, really missing out on what could be an incredible shift and an amazing opportunity for you. And really, you've just got to trust yourself. You've got to trust your medicine and trust that she's going to give you what you need, and that what you go through to get there is going to be worth it, whatever it is. And I can't really say any further than that. So, but I really do hope that that helps you. And if you have any questions, yeah, please just let me know. And if you need to book a session in with me to answer any of your questions, that's fine too. And I'll be putting the link so that you can do that. But I really hope that that makes it clear to you about what your fears might be about. I do think I know about the fear of the unknown, and I do think you have to be discerning. It really worries me when I'm out in Cusco, when I'm in Peru, or when I'm anywhere and I see a sign that says ayahuasca 7:30 tonight, and you just go and you're with a big group and you haven't done any prep, you don't know who's running it or what to expect, there's no support, there's no integration. No, don't do ayahuasca in that way. But if you are doing ayahuasca in a safe, trauma informed environment with someone that you trust, which hopefully is me, someone who is there to do prep with you, to support you through your journeys, and to do integration afterwards, and is only working with really well-known, absolutely shaman with a long heritage, and real connection to these ancient tribes where plant medicine is absolutely is their lineage. It's what they do. Then I really think that you can put those fears aside, and the result will be an amazing experience for you. So any questions, just let me know. Okay, guys. Thanks. Bye.